Okay, hi Jasmine. This is your tag questions for January 29th. Number one, last phone call that made you angry. The medical equipment rental people for my mom's hospital bed. I called the first time, I waited 10 minutes and gave up. I called back, psyched up, and I waited. It was 28 minutes or 32 minutes. I didn't have it was, yes. And I spoke to two different people. The second person, I asked, whether they were sure about the answer because she didn't seem that sure, and she wasn't. And then I wondered if there was somebody that could be sure, and she said no, as far as calling them, that she was as high as you could go. And of course I didn't, think I wasn't gonna do the drive there because their hours of business and where they're located are terrible for driving there and back. No. So, two, how many times do you use Google? A lot. I probably use it most of the time when I use the computer, sometimes several times in a session, computer session. Three, do you use nicknames for your next door neighbors? That sounds like something I would do, but I don't. I mean, I guess I know their last names. Many of them I know their first names, and so the closest would just be maybe referring to them at times as, if they're a parent, I might say, instead of saying Mrs. or Mr., I might say Daddy or Mommy or something, blah blah, as my way of telling what I saw or whatever. Let's see. And the back neighbor lady has written us a couple of notes saying, "Dear back neighbor," in the past. And so now I never thought about, your back neighbor being your back neighbor. So I refer to her as the back neighbor now. And I don't know if that's a nickname, but. Number four, have you had enough of doing tags? No. I think they're really useful to get information out of us that a lot of us wouldn't, think of saying or coming up with. So, number five and last, should treasure hunters state their finds before selling the objects? I guess the example you gave sounded like, I don't know, like maybe it was like a large sum of something that they, because they researched it, and then they, like, one of these, maybe like an ocean thing, and then they find a wreck, but I think if it's like a historical significance, then you need to, well, I mean, I don't need, but it's, ethically you want to share that with somebody, I don't know, so they can document some of that. Of course, then, I guess the government would get involved, and then you could be taxed or whatever they do. I don't know. I guess it just depends, Depends on the type of treasure. I know there's people that look for, they search for ladybugs, because you can make, I guess, pretty good money I don't know what it's, how they, I forget, harvesting them or finding them, capturing them, and then delivering them to nurseries or something. And because I guess they don't have ladybug farms, so I don't know, but that's like treasure to people because it's, I guess they're worth quite a bit, and you can, and there's only certain places that you can find them in certain types of forest, and so the locations that I watched a show, and they had to be very secretive about where they were going and everything, because the people who do the collecting was only gonna do the show if they kept everything as secretively as they could. And of course, I think there was some show on too that talked about, what is it? Some kind of herb or something that grows a certain part of the country here. I don't remember what it was. What was it? But anyway, it's like very valuable too. So they like to keep that under wraps. But yeah, so those people, I don't know. As far as like treasure, you'd like to think, well, what you find you get to keep, but I guess it depends on whose land you're finding it on. That's there's a lot of yeah. It isn't like a yes or no, so it just whatever depends. Interesting question, I guess. I mean, yeah. So till next week, I hope. Take care. Bye.